Hello everybody. This year, TryHackMe again created their own advent calendar for this year's holiday season. It is once again aimed at beginners, but I guess everyone can learn a few things from it here and there. So without further ado, my name is Avocari, and it's time to get festive and crack open the third window of the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2022. Nothing escapes Detective McRed. Okay, so the category for the third day is OSINT, or Open Source Intelligence. As the elves are trying to recover the compromised SantaGift.shop website, Elf Recon McRed is trying to figure out how it was compromised in the first place. Can you help him in gathering open source information against the website? Okay, so we're definitely doing a lot of open source intelligence today. We want to learn what open source intelligence actually is, which techniques you can use in order to extract information against a website or a target, using dorking, Google Dorks probably, to find information on a Google search engine. Maybe we need the robots.txt file, I don't know. Oh, and looking through publicly available GitHub repositories, that's interesting. So what is open source intelligence? Open source intelligence is gathering and analyzing publicly available data for intelligence purposes, which includes information collected from the internet, mass media, special sources, research, photos, and geospatial information. I would say for mass media you can also say social media, all of that stuff like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. And this information then can be accessed over the internet, so in that with search engines. This is dorking, for instance, closed forums, and even the dark and deep web. So we're not gonna dive into the dark and deep web here, I think, but this would also be a cool idea for a video later on. And people tend to leave much information on the internet that is publicly available and later results in impersonation, identity theft, etc. So yeah, if you search for a person, you're pretty much most likely to find photos of them, details to, let's say, friends, the friends group, their hobbies, maybe also where they live. So it's very interesting and easy in today's world to try and get the identity of another person. So which techniques can we use? We can use Google Dorks or dorking. This is a term where you use specific commands, let's say, or filters in order to search for specific things more easily. For instance, in URL, you get only stuff where you have for instance, in this case, hacking, any URL that contains hacking. You can search for different file types. You can use one site, for instance, you say site tryhackme.com, and it will get all indexed URLs from tryhackme.com. And you can also get the latest cached version. You use cache tryhackme.com. So if we now say we want to search in GitHub for database password, then you get different projects. For instance, here, what do we have here? Bold project where we have database password and something. Okay, this is just the login version, but here you can see this seems to be like an environment file. We have a database user and the database password. So if you're lucky, you can already find out the password, the standard password for a user. Next up, who is? Who is, you have the public information about the registrar or domain owner, administrative, billing, and technical contacts for a website or a public domain. This is publicly available for everyone, and you can also use whois on the command line interface. I'm going to show you that later on if we're not needing to use that. So let's say, for instance, we want to get the whois information of github.com. You can either do it through a website. What is that? Who is? Okay. We can say the domain name is github.com. The registrar who is server is whois.markmonitor.com. We can see the registrar is Mark Monitor Incorporated. And where the register did, which country, which state, province. And also an abuse contact phone. That's all good information if you want to contact, for instance, someone who is responsible for a web domain. The robot.txt file tells you which user agents are allowed to access different parts of a website. For instance, search engines are allowed to index specific websites and are not allowed to index other websites. You cannot edit it, but you can access it. So here Google is allowed to and disallowed specific URLs for web scrapers and search engines. So this helps to, the disallow helps some bad actors to identify sensitive directories. So you see, okay, groups, for instance, they're not allowed to access that, so this would be interesting to access and exploit. Another good information are breached databases. Have I been pawned is a super cool tool online where you can check your email address and see if it has been pawned. For instance, hr@sandigift.shop has not been pawned, so McRed just went through all the website, their email addresses on the website and didn't find any breaches, so this is good. And you can go through GitHub repositories. They show us down here in a short animation. For instance, we go to try hack me, we see okay. We can see the Discord bot, for instance, of them, the community. And now we're searching for Santa gift job. And we find Muhammad TM Santa gift job. Okay. So maybe this is also a good starting point for us later on. Maybe we need to find something like Santa gift shop, Santa gift, Santa shop. I'm curious about that. So McRed, the record master, search various terms on GitHub in order to find useful information about Santa gift shop, Santa gift, Santa shop, and he was able to find one of the search terms. And he found the website's complete source code, publicly available through OSINT. Okay, so now let's check that out. Let's go to github.com. We probably need that later on, but first let's start with the registrar of the domain santagift.shop. Okay, so let's copy that. As I said, I want to do it with whois on the command line. So we say whois and santagiftshop.com. Gonna make this a little bit bigger now, so we can see everything in one sitting. Okay, so the domain santagift.shop has the following ID. The registrar whois server is whois.namecheap.com. Okay, it was created in October, it was last updated in November, and the registrar is Namecheap Incorporated. So as we need that here, let's see if Namecheap Incorporated, perfect. That worked. So next, go over the website's source code repository on github.com and open the file containing sensitive credentials. Can you find the flag? Okay, so on GitHub we need to find maybe Santa gift job. Let's see if we can find something from that. Okay. The source code of Santa gift shop website. Cool. So first of all, let's look through it. We have PHP files with a readme.html and a readme markdown file. Let's see. This repository contains source code for the production and the QA website of santagift.shop. only legitimate developers are allowed to access the website and make changes. Okay, config.php file contains the credentials for database connection and must be handled with care. Okay, thank you for telling me that, I guess. We have one branch, the main branch, something else. We have one pull request. Let's see it there. Not protected. Someone said, I have found that your data is not protected. And others are commenting, I mean, he's not wrong. Look at how many stars the repo has. Whoa. And a nice ASCII art image. So it seems like some of the data is definitely not protected in here. They said we need to handle config.php with care, so I would first look into this one. Let's see, config.php. Okay, the first thing we see, dollar flag, OSINT works. Cool. Next, what is the name of the file containing passwords? So now we need a file which contains passwords. We have passwords in this one right here. We have a database, we have a user and a database password. So I guess we have two database passwords here. Anything else? No. So I guess config.php is the file containing the passwords. Let's review that. Perfect. That's also the correct answer. So we are at the correct file. Next, what is the name of the QA server associated with the website? That we saw in the README at the bottom. We have two domains. We have SantaGiftShop and qa.santagift.shop. So I guess this would be the name of the QA server. Nice. And then we need to find out the database password that is being reused between the QA and prod environments. So for that, let's go back to our config.php file. We have the database name is SantaGiftShop. We have Ubuntu as the user, and we have Santa22 as the password. And for the that is the QA environment. And now we go to the production environment. And right here we have also Ubuntu and also Santa22. So I guess Santa22 is the password for both of them. So this should be the answer right here. Let's see. Great. So this were all of the tasks for the second day. It was a pretty easy and simple one. I'm still gonna look through a little bit more. Maybe we can find some other interesting information right here. So config.php file, we'll look through that. License is not interesting. The WordPress files, I don't know, we can look through WordPress config maybe. Maybe we're gonna find something right here. This has been configured. So there's another file with root user for Santa is good by prod QA. Okay. And then a root user with the same password. So I guess this would have been the red herring. So another file which is not the one where we are supposed to find the answers in, but we can still find multiple passwords in here as well. So this is a good lessons learned if you're working on an open source project and you submit the sources to GitHub. Make sure to not have the passwords written in plain text right here. This is not good practice. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the third day of Advent of Cyber. Let's complete the room, and with that, we have gotten our first look into Google Dorking, or in this case, more open source intelligence rather than using Google Dorks, because we haven't used them at all, sadly. So tomorrow we'll continue with day 4. There's a little sneak peek below because I'm behind on the videos. So day 4, scanning through the snow. We'll do some scanning as it seems. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell in order to continue with me on our journey through the advent of Cyber 2022. Other than that, I'm Avocari, and have fun hacking your way through this year's advent of Cyber. Take care.